The Jewish people were waiting for the Messiah to come. They were expecting a royal birth according to prophecies made in the Old Testament. The Lord said to David in 2 Samuel 7:16, "Your house and your kingdom will endure forever. Before me, your throne will be established forever." David was promised a royal line that would be established forever. The Israelites were expecting a ruler who would deliver them from the oppression of the Romans. They were expecting a man of power and influence, and Micah 5:2 predicted, "But you, Bethlehem Ephrathah, though you are small among the clans of Judah, out of you will come for me one who will be ruler over Israel, whose origins are from of old, from ancient times." So the birthplace of this special ruler would be Bethlehem, and his origins would be from ancient times. And it was also predicted in Isaiah 7:14, "Therefore the Lord himself will give you a sign. The virgin will be with child and will give birth to a son and will call him Emmanuel." A virgin was to give birth to a ruler, the long-awaited Messiah who was from the royal line of David. He was to be born in the town of Bethlehem. The Jewish nation was waiting for that deliverer who would make Israel great once again. Yet when this special person was born, they did not recognize the signs. They were expecting an earthly king. That is still true today, as the average Israeli is still waiting for that earthly king, their Messiah, to arrive on the scene and make Israel a great power again. One problem: God has a way of doing things his way and not the way we expect him to. God's agenda was different to the understanding of the Jewish population. As a result, Jesus came not to rule and reign over Israel, but to rule and reign in our hearts. So Israel did not recognize or acknowledge the birth of their Messiah, Jesus Christ. Yes, he was of the royal line of David, and he was born in Bethlehem, just as King David was. But Jesus was always referred to as the Nazarene because he grew up in Nazareth. He was born in a stinky stable instead of a palace. His birth was announced by angels to shepherds and not by couriers of those in power. His first guests were not important officials from the king's court, but rather shepherds from the fields nearby. God has a way of working not according to our expectations, but his. He sees the big picture. We only see in part. So Jesus came in a way that would reach all men. Very humble beginnings, though he is the King of Kings. He left the splendor of heaven only to be born in a very humble setting, a stable. God has his way of working in our lives. He does the unexpected. He takes those difficult situations and creates something beautiful. His ways are simply not our ways. Perhaps your expectations are not being met in the way that you think. You are disappointed with life and wonder where you are headed. Trust God. Yes, he most certainly will work in ways that are not expected. But I do know this, that as you trust him, you will be surprised at what he will do and will one day acknowledge that his ways are always best. He says in Isaiah 55:8-9, "For my thoughts are not your thoughts, neither are your ways my ways, declares the Lord. As the heavens are higher than the earth, so my ways are higher than your ways, and my thoughts than your thoughts."